Like to see. Yes, so we are recording. Welcome, everyone. I'm super happy to be here with you to talk about positive psychology. Thank you, Harvard Pilgrim and Tufts Health, for inviting me to have this conversation about positive psychology, which is really the science of happiness, how to be happier and or more positive. Today, we're focusing on the power of positivity. And I always say really positive psychology is two things. First, make yourself feel good. Second, make the people around you feel good, and you will feel happier, less stressed, and more resilient and more positive. So let's start right away by typing in the chat. It's going to be as interactive as we can be through Zoom. I'd love to hear from you. I know music, singing, and dancing is a happiness booster. What song gets you out of a funk? What song immediately when you hear it, you're feeling negative, you're feeling like the dark light, you're feeling a heaviness, and then you hear this song and you're like out of it. Does anybody have that? And if you do, just type in the chat. What song gets you out of a negative feeling, mood, thoughts, and into the positive? Let's see. For me, it's anything by Britney Spears. I know, or Whitney Houston. I've been obsessed with Whitney for the last month. Waka Waka by Shakira, fight song, right? Okay, what else? What else? Type in the chat, what song gets you out of a funk? Walking on Sunshine is awesome. And you know, as these songs come in, you can steal these songs and maybe make a playlist. So when you're feeling down or you're feeling unhappy, you just put your playlist in. Steve Winwood, yep, okay. So again, welcome. And we are gonna start by where I always like to start, which is, apologize for the dog. I love you always forever. Oh, that one I don't know. I'd like to start with the happiness ladder. So let's think for a minute. Where are you on the happiness ladder? If 1 is living your worst possible life and 10 is living your best possible life, you could put this in the chat or you can just think about it, put it in your notes. Middle of January 2023, 1, worst possible life, 10, best possible life. What number would you give yourself right here, right now? And by the way, folks, if you've seen me before, you know the goal of positive psychology is not to be a 10 all the time. If you were happy all the time, no one would like you. Just weird. No. The idea is really to feel all of our emotions. Now, I'm going to be honest, this is like the middle of January. My 2023 did not start out very positive. It's been a rough start for the last couple of weeks. Started out by I didn't get to be with the people I wanted to be with for New Year's Eve, and that kind of took me in a downward negative spiral. And I was just feeling sad and really unhappy for many, many days. And I feel like I've turned a corner. That didn't just magically happen. What I did was things in my positive psychology toolkit, which is some of them are meditated. I prayed. I did my gratitude practice. I had a difficult conversation with somebody. I hung out with friends. I cried. I blasted music and sang and danced. And I feel a lot better now. Will I dip into sadness again? Probably. Will I know how to get out of it? Yes. And what I want to share with you, and a lot of these things you might already know, you probably already do, but knowing and doing are completely different things, right? So it's hearing these things, pick something that you think would work for you, and then try to put it into practice. Try to make it a habit. So how about you? How did your 2023 start? You could maybe type a word in the chat. Did your year start out going well? You're like, things are just magically coming to you. This has been a great year so far. Or has it been a rocky start like my year? So maybe just put yes or rocky, wish it was better. What, just a couple, let's just notice, where are we starting from? So if you feel safe and comfortable and would like to share, just pop in the chat. Rocky, could have been better, excellent start, whatever you're feeling right now, you can just pop in the chat. Middle of the road, yeah, blessed, okay, good. And these can change in any moment, right? So some days you could be a 10, you could be, things are going great, and then something happens and you're down to a 2. And what we call this, so I'm seeing 50-50, glad you're better and hope, thank you. Thank you, Anna Maria, I think. Excellent start compared to last year. Yeah, my last year started out amazing. So it changes. And in positive psychology, we call this permission to be human. The idea is not to be happy all the time, but to feel the hard things, the sadness, maybe the anger, the anxieties, being stressed sometimes, to feel all of these difficult emotions, because if we don't and we suppress them, then they just build up. They don't magically disappear. They'll just build up and they'll come out in unhealthy ways. So expressing them might be something like writing in a journal, or like I said, talking to friends, meditating. It might be going to a therapist. It might be getting outside in nature. Could be anything that helps you go from that negative feelings to more positive, more helpful feelings. And again, the idea is to feel it all. I love this quote by Glennon Doyle, is to feel it all and feel the good stuff too, because obviously there are good things happening at the same time hard things are happening, and to notice the good things as well, and to share, to get them out in whatever way works for you, writing, movement, talking to somebody. Get the tough stuff out, but also share the good stuff, because we do tend to only talk about the negative sometimes. So we want to share the good stuff too. Now, why does happiness matter? Again, positive psychology, for those who are here new, is the science of flourishing or becoming happier. And why does it matter? Because Sean Acor, who was at Harvard with my mentor, Tal Ben-Shahar, he says our brain on positive performs better than on negative, neutral, or stress. Just type yes in the chat if you're like, that makes so much sense. Yes. When we feel better, we do better. When we're more positive, life just is a little bit easier, happier. You know, feeling negative can feel like a weight, right? So when we feel good, we do good, and we perform better when we feel better. Why does happiness matter? All the research shows happier people, or you could say more positive people, they're more productive. Does this make sense? They're more creative. They make more money. They're better leaders, better negotiators, more likely to get married and stay married. They have more friends. They're healthier, they live longer, they are more resilient, they help other people more, they're less stressed, less anxious, and less depressed. It matters what goes on in our brain. Those thoughts, whether they're negative or positive, have an effect on our behavior. So it's super important to be aware. Are we thinking negative thoughts, or are we thinking more positive thoughts? For most of us, we are hardwired to go negative. It's been said we have 70,000 thoughts a day, and 85% of them are negative. If you start listening to that voice in your head, well, how about you? Have you been negative at work? Have you been negative at home, with your kids, in your relationship, with yourself, with your body, with your eating habits? How often are you going negative? And the first step is really just to notice, oh man, I'm hard on myself, or I'm hard on other people. How often are you going negative? And the idea here is to shift the perception, shift from the negative to the positive. It's the idea that we can make ourselves act and think in ways that are more helpful. See if you can see the two different images in this illusion. That subtle shift from the negative to the positive can make a huge difference in all areas of our lives. So, how about you? What is working? Let's see here. I forgot what I was going to say for a moment. In positive psychology, my mentor, Tal Ben-Shahar, who was at Harvard, said, fail often and fail big. And when you fail, just say, how fascinating. How fascinating. The dog started barking right in the middle of the talk. How fascinating. I almost made a mistake here. And then just, shrug it off, let it go, and try to do better next time. So write in the chat, in 6 words or less, what snaps you out of a negative mood or negative thoughts? So I said for you in the beginning, for me, I mean meditating, exercising. I was blasting music super loud when nobody was here, blasting music, singing, dancing. So just type in the chat, what gets you out of a negative mindset, negative thoughts, or negative behaviors? All right, excellent. So we have exercising, and mindfulness is such an amazing practice to shift from the negative to the positive. What else, folks? Music and exercise, painting or crafts, exercising, being around positive people. Yes, it matters who we hang out with. Downtime laughter, huge happiness booster. Thank you so much for participating. I love reading these, praying. Remember that God took care of it before, right? This too shall pass. You're not alone. I love that. It turns out people who are more spiritual and religious tend to be happier. And there's lots of research on that. If this was a longer talk, I could go into it. Exercise, meditating, music, knowing I'm not the only one. Exactly. So thank you again for participating in the chat. So again, the idea is to notice when negative thoughts come in and just see if we can flip it, not all the time, but maybe more of the time. So all of those are great ways to shift from the negative to the positive. I want to share some of the ways that have helped for me in the last 6 years since I've been diligently practicing positive psychology. These are the things that have helped me the most. Pick one that might resonate with you and then see if you can make it a habit, something that you do every day that's just part of your identity, who you are and what you do. So maybe some of these already are, like Anna Maria, maybe exercise or meditating is just part of your identity, who you are and what you do. That's what we're going for. Pick one. And if you already have some and you see something new, you can always try to add something new. So 3 good things. What this is every night before I go to bed, I write down at least 3 good things that have happened in the last 24 hours. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 7. You don't have to stop at 3, but you run through your day and just notice what were some of the good things. And the way this helps me so much is sometimes at the end of a day, I'm like, was this a good day? And I'm feeling heavy. And then I start looking, I'm like, oh, I totally forgot. This happened. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, okay, this wasn't a bad day. This was actually a good day. So it's called 3 Good Things. You can do it yourself with your own journal. You can do it with your personal relationships, husband, wife, kids. Tell me 3 good things. You could do it at work. The next time you start a meeting, start with 3 good things. Or your colleague, you first see them before you go into all the hard things to vent, start with the good. And then you can always get to the tough stuff. So we don't have time for 3 good things, but I want to share 1 good thing that's happened to me in the last 24 hours is for years, I've been wanting to join a mastermind group. And finally, I found my people. 5 women. Last night was our first mastermind group, and I'm super excited to begin this journey with this group of women. So how about you? Please type in the chat. We, again, don't have time for 3 good things, but 1 good thing that's happened to you in the last 24 hours. And it doesn't have to be big. It could be you enjoyed a cup of coffee in the sunshine. It could be your dog's not barking through the webinar. So what are some good things? So question, what's a mastermind group? It's really a group of people that get together, and for me, it's a business group. So we work on improving our business, but it could be on any topic where you just meet and talk to other people with the idea of improvement. So some of the good things: I went to bed early. I had a great night's sleep, huge happiness booster. My son is dating a nice girl. That's a great thing. Probably in the long run, that'll be amazing. I shared laughs. Laughter is a huge happiness booster, especially with another person. The number one happiness booster is social connection, being with people. We need people. So remote day allowed me to walk. The sun's coming out. My daughter had fun at basketball. So you can see a lot of these are either movement or being with people, laughing. Those are huge happiness boosters. Knowing that is great. Doing those things regularly is what gets us on the path of feeling we can take on the tough stuff, the negative things. We can feel positive about things because we have this base of healthy, positive habits: exercise, being outside, being with other people, whether it's kids or friends or family members. So again, this practice is every night before you go to bed, you run through your day and you write down those things in a journal. The research shows writing it down is what makes it lastingly feel good, or you can just tell it to people, but it's helped me to write it down. 3 good things every day, part of your identity. Look for the good, and the good appreciates. The more you start looking for good things, guess what? The more good things you'll start to see. They were always there, but whatever we look for is exactly what we see. So if you focus on the negative, you look for negative things, that's all you're going to see. But if we look for the good things, like delivering Irish bread to a friend, helping other people, another huge happiness booster. The next one I want to share with you is the power of I am. This, besides 3 good things, 3 good things, changed my life, changed everything for me. What I am is to start noticing what follows your I am. A lot of times, for me anyway, I am not good enough. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. I'm not disciplined. I'm not creative. I'm not smart enough. It's just, if you start noticing what follows your I am, how often is it negative for you? And the idea here is to notice it and then flip it from the negative to the positive. So for example, a lot of times you'll hear people say, I'm so tired. And guess what? When you say that, your brain listens, and so does your body. You'll start yawning. You'll physically feel tired. But if you change, I'm so tired, to I am vibrant, I am energized, I'm getting a second wind. Now your brain listens to that. Your body listens. It perks up. It sounds hokey a little bit, but if you try these things, they actually do work. How about I'm so stressed? I can feel my heart beating. I've got sweaty palms, right? Our body listens to whatever follows I am. But if you say, I'm excited, I am, maybe it's excitedly nervous, or I am, whatever is the opposite of stress. For me, it's excited. They're super close, right? The positive way is excited. Like, I don't want to fail, so I'm nervous and stressed, but it's also an excitement. So I am, whatever follows I am, we become. So start, maybe if this one you like and you want to try it, notice what follows your I am and see if you can flip it to something more positive, something that's more helpful. And by the way, folks, another way to think about this is when these negative thoughts come in our head is this thought helping me or harming me? So you have this negative thought, whatever it is, and then just ask yourself, is this helpful to think this way? Is this thought helping me or is it harming me? And if it's harming you, then see if you could flip it to a positive thought. Just by our words can change our behaviors. That's what I am is really all about. Next, anticipation. This is a happiness booster. And again, folks, you know this. We all know this. Planning fun things to do that we can look forward to makes us feel happier and more positive in this moment. It makes us feel like we can tackle this tough thing. If I know that in March I'm going to Tahiti, then this little problem at work feels a little bit easier. Type yes in the chat if you agree with that. I don't know, is it just me? Or is it when we are looking forward to something, it helps us get through the negative, heavy, tougher things, whether it's at work, in a relationship with our kids, right? So planning these things, though, not just letting them happen. We have 12 months this year. I'm in a program right now where every other month, so for six weekends, our goal is to plan something fun that we've never done before. It's like a mini adventure, just for a day or just a weekend. A mini adventure, something that we've never done before that's exciting and new. Sounds like a song on a cruise. But if they're mini adventures, so 6 mini adventures. That's something I've taken on for the last 2 years, and I'm planning this year. One of mine for this year is going to be in June. It's called the 12-hour walk. Basically, you just walk for 12 hours straight with no cell phone. You can bring it, but you can't be on it. And you're just with yourself. So here's one planning a trip to Puerto Rico. I mean, hello. If that doesn't make you happier. And sometimes just planning it can be better than actually doing it sometimes. But anticipation. So this for me is fun, but what you want to do is find some things that that excite you. Could be learning, could be a physical challenge, could be just relaxing in the sun. Whatever lights you up and gets you more positive and excited, plan it. Right? Make it something to look forward to. It's a huge happiness booster. Anybody else planning anything? So we have Puerto Rico. I'd love to go there. I've never been there. Anybody else have something that they're anticipating? Or make something up. How about this? Just put something in there like you wish you could go to. And sometimes even just fantasizing about it makes us feel good. You don't even have to go. You can just close your eyes, or you can take a video tour online, escape, even if it's a fantasy, right? Even if it's not going to happen. A trip to Ireland sounds amazing. What else, folks? We work so hard. I know everybody on this call works so hard. We need breaks. We need things to look forward to. That's what makes a full, rich life. It's not just work, 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 right? Planning a cruise and taking better care of myself mentally. Yeah. Don't just plan one, plan 2. You'll have another one in the works, keeps you lifted when the first one is done. Love that. That's this idea of 6 in a year, every other month. So you always have something fun to look forward to. We need more fun. Especially us in New England. I don't know if everybody here is from New England, but maybe I'm just me talking to myself. Work was such a huge part of my identity when I was in my career. Well, I don't know what to call it, in like a place I had to go to work. And I worked nonstop, 7 days a week, 24/7. And it just made me crazy because we need breaks. We need fun. We need more fun. So if you don't have something planned and this resonates with you, plan something. And it doesn't have to be big. It could be just a day local. It doesn't have to be a trip. Anything that's fun for you. Make the time for that. And look forward to it. It's a huge happiness booster. The last one I want to share with you is the one thing that will take you from the negative thoughts to the positive is make someone else feel good. Find someone else to help feel good, and you will immediately feel good. And it could be just smiling at the cashier at a grocery store. Making it your mission to make that person smile who's having maybe a mundane day. Maybe it's writing a thank you card to somebody. Maybe it's bringing food to somebody. putting together a Valentine's dinner, fun and games. There you go. Has anybody done something recently that they could share in the chat that you helped somebody else feel good and that made you feel good? Sometimes it's really just a smile. I love when I go out into the public at like a grocery store, or I'm on a walk and I just make eye contact with someone and smile. Just that one moment of connection just makes my heart leap with joy. It's so great. I helped a disabled man in the grocery store. Awesome. Get something off the shelf. Invited a friend to yoga. Made a wellness basket for a friend. Love that. Yeah, babysat for my sister-in-law. Made a homemade bread for my neighbor who lost her husband. All of these things. If you're feeling sad, down, just the immediate thought can be, okay, this is terrible. This sucks. I'm not happy right now. Who can I make happy? It's counterintuitive, right? And it's not always easy. Paid it forward at Dunkin' Donuts, complimenting others. Compliment can last for months. People are so stingy with their compliments. So when you finally get one, it's like, whoa, you can live up that for months. Made the tired and sad checkout clerk smile. Yay. So folks, these are, make somebody else feel good. That's just an example of that. Now, if you like what you heard today, and if you're not already on my email list, you can pop your email in the chat. I send out happiness tips every now and then. So again, if you want to get on my email list and get some happiness tips, just put your email in the chat. I see there's one question. I will definitely get to that. And also, question, how do you handle people who are always negative, looking for mistakes, make this sucks energy out? Yes, awesome question. Very, a lot of people ask that question. I'll get to that. And also, lastly, if you research shows when we write things down, we're more likely to do them. So maybe put in the chat, what's something you're going to try out to take you from negative thoughts, feelings, behaviors to more positive? You can put that in the chat. And these are all the things we talked about. So if you want to, again, put in the chat one thing that you're going to try that's new, or something you heard or learned today, just pop that in the chat so that you'll remember it and maybe actually put it into action. So what the question was, what do you do when you're surrounded by negative people? Find new people. It's kind of a joke, but it's not really, because they bring us down. You could try to do things like, I'll share one example. A woman at the end of a talk said, I'm really happy, but my husband got the negative genes. He's always pessimist, a Debbie Downer, and our teenage daughter got those same negative genes from my husband. So she said she was going to try 3 good things with them. And the husband really liked it. So the daughter was going away to college. And what the husband decided to do, the negative husband decided to do, is text every day 3 good things to the daughter who was away at college. And the woman who first told me this, 3 months later, she sent me an email and said, this completely transformed my husband and my daughter. Focusing on the positive, the 3 good things every day, completely changed who they are. So I'm sharing that because sometimes you can influence the people around you, but you can't change other people. They have to want to change. Happiness is an inside job. We have to do it for ourselves. So you can't change them. That's why jokingly I say, find new people. Or add positive people to, if you can't get rid of the people around you. Not the best way to put that, but add some positive people to the mix and see if you can influence other people by doing some of these things yourself. But again, happiness is an inside job. It's something that we do for ourselves. So it's not something that we can change other people. So let me see, there's another question. How do you stay happy when a loved one is going through something personal and feel bad and somewhat make it your issue as well? Again, it's not the idea here to pretend hard things aren't happening. We have dark nights of the soul. I mean, we go through hard things. People die, dogs die, and it's not always going to be happy all the time. And maybe in this case, it's just being there for the person. not trying to fix them, not trying to make them happy, or just, I'm here. And just be a listener. What do you need? How can I help? You know, that's really the best we can do. I know when I go through tough things, just having a friend to go put my head on their lap and cry, they're not trying to fix it. It can't be fixed a lot of times. So it's just like, be a good listener and be there for them. All right, I'm happy to stick around and answer any other questions that may come up or that you have. But we are out of time. So I want to just say thank you so much for participating in the chat. If you'd like to follow me on social media, this is my contact information, or send me an email if I didn't get your question answered, or you want to just share something with me. I'm happy to be there for you. And again, try these things out. If they work for you, keep doing them. If they don't, try something else. I hope that you have a super happier day and brand new year. So thank you so much. And again, reach out if you have any questions. I think I got all the questions.